first of all, sales are very important. Is knowing that you have a budget, you build your cost base around what you think you can sell, and achieving the sales line is obviously very, very important. There's a saying that says sales are vanity and profit is sanity, but more important, in fact, is cash. I've seen so many people go bust when they're making a profit because they run out of cash. It can be carelessness, it can be not keeping your eye on the bank, it can be the fact that you're very profitable but all of a sudden you lose a big contract. The important thing is to look after your cash, not to speculate too much over your cash, not to become a bank for your customers and leave your debtors. It's also important on the supplier side to be disciplined. If you can effectively aid your cash situation by having good longish terms with your suppliers, it's important also that you pay them on time. And negotiating longer payment terms is acceptable, but you have to be reliable, and they have to be able to trust you. It's not the not getting, it's the not knowing that's often the problem.
There are a couple of things. First of all, I'd want to actually try it and pilot it in some small way to sort of see how effective that is, to make some samples or some product or the service or whatever it is you want to do, and actually go and test it on a part-time basis at home or weekends or whatever, and see what response you get. Because you've got to build a sustainable business model, and you've got to see actually whether people do like it. So I had a simple idea of this magnetic glasses holder that I use for holding my glasses. But actually making some models and getting people to try them and seeing whether they kept using them after a while or whether they threw them away was what we needed to do. So it's trying something on a small scale to sort of see how it would work, and then looking and seeing if you can turn that into a sustainable business model, something more substantial where you start to employ people or involve people or costs or yourself and your own time and effort. On a bigger basis, and you've got to sit down and analyse if that's going to work, and that's sitting out, crunching some numbers, working out the costs and seeing is it profitable. At the end of the day, if we've got a service or a product we can deliver, we've got a consistent people who are going to want it. The question is, can we do it profitably? Can we make it and sell it with a profit, and can we continue doing that? And if we can, then we've got the bones of a successful business. So then we need to just plan it and put it together and test it as a financial model to see if that's going to work.
I would think the thing the most important on the list is your finances, and that and that's often overlooked by people. You've got to look at where your money is. It's in the business. Is it in stock? Are you turning that round sufficiently? Are you buying properly? Have you got the right items in? And then you've got the other issue is that you've sold something, but actually you've not sold it really until you've been paid for it. So you've then got this other problem of once somebody's got whatever you're selling, is getting money from them for it, and that can take up a huge amount of time. When some businesses, or a lot of businesses, have people they're actually employing to do nothing else but getting the money off people that's owed.
Yes, and the numbers are crucial. We've got to get used to numbers and looking at numbers and counting numbers, because at the end of the day, you can have a wonderful idea, but if you don't regard the numbers, it all goes wrong. Clive Sinclair had lots of wonderful numbers, but he would never listen to his accountants, and each one burst into something but then collapsed because he wouldn't look at the numbers, he wouldn't listen to his accountants. So he was successful in many ways, but in other ways, he didn't build a long-term business. We do need to look at the numbers.
Second thing is your sales. Check that the sales are on target. And then the third thing, probably your margin. Is your margin there? Are you making sure that your actual cost of sales is correct to your plan? Because often expenses and overheads can run away. And you think you're doing really well, but all you're doing is the more and more turnover you do, the more and more you're stacking up the costs of it. So they're the critical things.